Want to learn how to make your first iOS app like this from absolute zero? Always dreamt of becoming an app developer, but you didn't have the coding or programming skills? Don't worry, today we're going to build our first iOS app from absolute zero, no programming or coding skills required. We're going to make a beautiful iOS app with SwiftUI interface, data persistence, animations, and the whole thing. No shortcuts, no hello world nonsense. A real production-ready app you could ship to App Store today. I will show you every single step. Hey everyone, my name is Amir and I've been building iOS apps for years. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make your own iOS app from scratch and make your dream come true. I have a master's in IT and an MBA, but you don't need any of that. Here's the thing, despite the fact that I have the programming knowledge, I haven't written real code in months because AI tools are literally 50 times faster and the code is often better than what I write myself. Today, I'm going to prove it. We're building a real app that solves a real problem, all in one video. So why am I using AI to build apps? Isn't the traditional way better? Because here's what no one tells you. Knowing how to code and spending hours typing are two different things. My education taught me how apps work, the architecture, the data flow, memory management, and all the important stuff. That knowledge is irreplaceable. But AI is like having a senior developer who types at 1,000 words per minute and never makes syntax errors. So today we're building a complete task management app using Windsurf and Claude Sonnet 4.5 that was published just a couple days ago. And I mean, we will be making a complete app with the data model, a beautiful UI, persistence, so that the tasks would save between launches, smooth animations, and everything you need in a real app. My coffee is hot right now, but by the time it gets cold, we will have our fully functional app complete. And there's the best part, you don't even need a master's degree or an MBA to follow along. All you need is a MacBook or a Mac simulator with Xcode installed and just 20 minutes of your time. If we can properly describe what we need to Claude or any other AI tools, we will be able to make it successfully. Stick around to the end because I'll be sharing 3 special prompts that can turn your AI from helpful to mind-blowing. These techniques will save you hours every single week. Alright, let's be real about what we're building here. This isn't just a toy app. This isn't a make a button that says hello app. We're building something that you could actually use. Something with proper architecture, clean code, and professional polish. Now, I could build this app the traditional way, and I've done that in the past, and I've done that dozens of times in the past. But today, we're going to be using Windsurf and Claude Sonnet 4.5. Traditional approach looks like this. Create the project, set up your data models, write all the protocols, identifiable, codable, maybe hashable, then build your view models with proper state management, then construct your UI, wire everything together, debug the inevitable issues. That works. I know how to do it. It takes 2-3 hours if you know what you're doing, and maybe longer if you're just learning. But here's the thing, Claude and Windsurf can handle the typing while we handle the thinking. And that's not lazy, that's efficient. So in this tutorial, we're using Windsurf AI that you can download for free from windsurf.com. And what makes Windsurf special for iOS development is that it can actually read the Xcode proj files natively. Most AI tools cannot do that actually. We will just first start by creating a project on Xcode. Just gonna click on create new project, and we create a new app, and we're just gonna call it maybe task master. And these are all the other settings, your team name, which is your Apple ID's name that is actually registered on Apple as a developer, your organization identifier and the interface which you're going to be using, and the language which we're obviously using Swift. So we click next and we give it a path, and you create it and you wait for it. While it's being indexed, you go back to your Windsurf. As you can see, and you open that project. You click on open folder after installing Windsurf. You go to the folder of your iOS app, and as you can see, I browsed inside and you can see the taskmaster.xcode project, and you don't click on anything, you just navigate inside the folder and click on open. And once you open the folder, it's gonna just open it at the left side of the screen so you can see your taskmaster project. And then at the top of the screen, you should click on toggle cascade sidebar, and this cascade code is basically the brains of Windsurf, which is gonna use Claude Sonnet in our project, and we're gonna be planning and asking whatever we need here, and it's gonna do the magic for us. So we make sure that that is opened, and then at the very bottom of the screen, we need to make sure that Claude Sonnet 4.5 is selected. There are other very useful models as well, like GPT-5 is also very good. Opus 4.1 is also very good. I personally feel very comfortable with Claude Sonnet because it's very good at coding iOS. So I will have a quick look at the project files here. You can see the content view.swift and the taskmaster app.swift and the taskmaster Xcode proj file. And here, all in this project, so it's just ready to go. By the time you're watching this video, all these models might have been updated, so we might even have Claude Sonnet 5 or 6 or ChatGPT 6 or 7, or like we're just living in an era that things are just progressing so fast that every week there's a new model or an update. So I'll just quickly go to Xcode to see how our project looks like. So as you can see, there's a very simple basic SwiftUI app here that we can see the preview of it on the right side of the screen. So this is a preview of our very basic default iOS project, and I'm just gonna do a quick run of it on an iPhone 16 Pro simulator. So yes, this is our Hello World app basically that we're gonna be turning it into a taskmaster. So I'm just going to stop the simulator, go back to Windsurf. So rule number one of making any app using AI is actually being specific and having a plan. I'm going to ask it to create a initializer, creating the file for us. So it created the task struct for us with all these details that were asked. And what's really interesting is that this is what I would exactly write if I were writing it myself. And this is really fascinating that Claude Sonnet knows the best iOS practices and just implements them as we go. So next we're gonna have to create a view model to manage our tasks, and like a MVVM architecture model, view model to keep everything organized. So I'm gonna ask Claude Sonnet to create a So this observable object is basically telling SwiftUI that watch for changes using the @published on the task array. So it's really fascinating to see it works. So I'll just open the task view model Swift file. So what's really important again is to be very specific when you're prompting with AI. And it created exactly what we asked for: add task, delete task, and toggle completion. So now it created the class for us, and we're just going to review the code very quickly to make sure it's exactly what we need. It's creating the add task function, delete task function, remove all. So it basically gives us the ability to delete one single task or remove all tasks. So I'm just going to accept it. And what's really interesting is that each one of these functions properly updates the array and triggers the UI updates automatically. Okay, so now we're gonna be working on the UI right now. User interfaces are basically where our apps come alive, and this is also where beginners spend hours trying to get the layouts right, spacing perfect, colors matching, etc. But with the help of AI, we can actually describe what we want and let it handle all the details. But here's the key. So we need to still know what you want. And that's what really matters is in the design process. The AI is just a tool, but it's not the designer. So you need to tell it what exactly you want. You cannot just expect it to do things for you. So being specific in coding with AI is of utmost importance. So I'm gonna tell it exactly what I want. I'm gonna tell it to build a So let's see what we get. So it's reading the content view for us, which is basically empty at the moment. And let's see what it's doing. All right, so it's actually creating a lot of stuff for us. We're gonna review everything. Okay, deleted the default stuff, and this is the navigation stack for us, and then the preview, and yeah, so the task row view, exactly how we asked, and the age stack. It's really interesting that it's actually following the best SwiftUI coding practices, like with age stack and the spacers and the padding. Oh, it's even adding a nice button style for us. And here it's really fascinating. See how it used the state object for the view model? That's the correct property wrapper, and the state for the sheet presentation. That's really fascinating. It's as if it exactly knows SwiftUI's state management rules. Okay, so before doing anything else, I just wanted to quickly go over what exactly was created and what is the how our app looks like. Wow, yes. So this is our task master, and this is basically how it'll look like. So I'm just gonna quickly run it on our iOS simulator to see how it looks. So I'm just gonna add a new task here, and I'm just gonna call it Amir ships. And I'm gonna add it and see, wow, it's working. So I'm just gonna add a second task, and I'm just gonna call it test 1, 2, 3, and see it adds them smoothly. And if I want to delete my task, see, it just works. That's very wonderful. So I'm just gonna go back to our code to make it even look better. I basically want that satisfying feeling when we complete a task. So I'm just gonna ask Claude to do it for me. So I'm just gonna say style. And finally style the delete button in red. And I'm gonna let it run and see what it does. Okay, I'm gonna go back. Wow, look what it did. It's really marvelous. So it is doing the checkmark things that I asked it to do, and it's styling them in green and red and everything else to make them filled when it's done. And so let me check one more time how it actually looks in practice and see for ourselves how nice our app is now looking. So I'll wait for it to open, and I'm just gonna create the tasks. Test 1, 2, 3. Okay, so when it's done, it turns green and strikes through it, and when not, it's just normal. And let me add another task. Test 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so it's just working as expected. So I'll go back and do the last finishing touches. Okay, so I don't know if you noticed, but when I tried deleting the task, it didn't ask me for confirmation. So I just want to make sure that our app asks for confirmation before deleting the task. So can you accidentally delete it? So wait for it to do its magic. So it's adding a confirmation alert before deleting tasks. So let's see what it exactly did. Yeah, so show delete alert true, and delete task cancel. Are you sure you want to delete? Stuff like that, and sounds just about right, but we're gonna verify. Oops. Okay, so apparently we're getting some errors when trying to run our app, and all the errors are here. Circular expanding, foreseeing macro preview, freestanding macro preview, tough reference here. So one of the most interesting usages of AI is for debugging, actually, which I'm gonna do in real time. So here on Xcode, I'm just gonna select all these errors with Command and A, and then Command and C, and then I'll go back to Windsurf and I'll just paste it, and I'm just gonna tell it that the app fails to run. Can you fix it? See the logs below. I'm gonna wait for it to do its thing. So it first explains what the issue is. I need to check the content view to see what's causing the circular reference error. And then it just fixed it, just one line of code. So we save it, and then we go back to our app and try to run it again. And it said this time it succeeded. Wait for it to run. Okay, so it's running now. Let's add the task, test 1, 2, 3, and then see, now it's asking for confirmation before deleting. So if I hit delete, it'll delete it. That's what I wanted to add on top of everything else we've been doing. Okay, so now I want to test something. I want to see if the data persistence is working properly, because I never asked the AI to do anything with regards to that, but I want to ensure. So I'll create a test task, and I'll just leave it be, and I'll restart the simulator to see if the data is persisting, and I rerun it again. See, it's empty. It means that our data just gets lost every time we close the app, and that is not what we want. We want basically to make sure that our list of tasks remain intact in there and persist. So I'm just gonna stop the simulator, go back to Windsurf, and I'm just gonna ask it to implement that. So I will just go back to Windsurf and ask it to do the proper data persistence so that our tasks are saved actually and would not get lost. So I'll just ask it. I noticed that my tasks get lost when I restart the app. Can you make sure that the data persists upon restart? Follow the best iOS development practices and make sure data persistence is implemented correctly. So just run it and make sure that it does it properly. I'll implement data persistence using user defaults with proper encoding, decoding, since the task struct is already codable. This follows iOS best practices for simple data storage. So we'll, okay, already made some changes to our task view model and see, we'll review what it did. Load tasks, see it will basically load tasks upon reloading the app, and before that it was just empty, it was just an init function, and it will save tasks and load tasks. It's a private function, meaning that it can only be run from inside the class. Save tasks and load tasks, and I'm gonna just accept it, and I'm gonna go back to our Xcode to see if it was actually implemented. And I'll just create a test task. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, no, no. And I'm gonna just leave it be and just maybe just check one of them as done and restart the app. See if it really works. And yes, the data is persisting, and doesn't matter how many times you close the app, it will actually work just fine. Okay, beautiful. So now our app is basically production ready, and we can just wrap it up and submit it to App Store for review and being published. But we don't want to stop here. There's a small difference between what is working and what is delightful. And our goal here is not just to make something working, we want to make it also delightful. So in order to make it even better, I'm gonna improve the UI and also add some animation to the app to make it even more awesome. So I'm just gonna ask Windsurf to do it for us. And I'm just gonna ask add okay, there's no harm in asking the AI to make it delightful. So we're gonna wait for it to do it, and we're using the spring animation, and I just want to make sure that the AI understands all of that. That's why I use these terms. And it's editing our content views. That's Swift. Oh yes, it is doing exactly as we asked. So it's adding the animation spring. Wow. And the other stuff that we asked to. So we're going to review everything. Animation, spring response, damping fraction. It's all very detailed. I really love it. So I'm just going to accept these and go back to our Xcode and rebuild our. Oops, it failed. Okay, we can easily debug that. And we're just going to go to this error. Just want to make sure. We're going to open this error to see what it exactly is. It's on line 27, referencing instance method animation value and array requires that task conform to equitable. So we're going to see exactly what it needs. So we're going to copy this, go back to Windsurf. And we're going to paste it. Okay, so it's going to make the changes. It's just a minor change that it needed to do the equitable. Okay, we're going to accept it. Going to go back to Xcode, run it again. Beauty. It's just doing what it's supposed to do. We wait for it. Okay. Let's just try adding a task. Amir ships. And let's see, oh yes, it's doing its thing. Wonderful. So see all the slides and everything else. So we go back to our Windsurf. All right, so again, we could stop at any point here because the main functionalities of our app is just working just fine. But I just want to take another extra step to make it even more beautiful. So I'm just gonna ask Windsurf to do a couple UI changes and make it even more beautiful. Can you? So it's not just a joke. It really pays attention to every single word you're asking. So it says that I'll enhance the UI with beautiful colors, modern styling, and visual polish to make it pop. So it's just modifying our content view Swift file. We're just gonna wait a bit. It's doing a lot of stuff. Changing the background color, foreground color of text, V-stacks and everything. It's I think adding some, changing some SF symbols. So I'm just gonna accept it. And I'm gonna go back to Xcode, run the app. Yes, there's no issues, awesome. So we're gonna wait for it to load and see the magic. Beautiful. So look how updated and beautiful is our UI now. Better colors, better spacing, better icons, and everything looks much better now. We did it. Yay. I'm gonna check it. Did you notice the nice animation it has? Boom. Yeah. Just gonna restart the app to make sure data persistence is also, yes, it's working. Yeah, this is just amazing. So we basically went from zero to a polished production ready app in a very short amount of time. And my coffee, remember, it is cold now, but the app, it's hot and perfect. All right. Let's talk about what just happened here. It's very important. Point one, knowledge is the foundation. I could verify every line of code the AI generated because I understand iOS development. When it used add_state object instead of add_state for view model, I knew that was correct. And when it added try for error handling, I recognized that as proper Swift syntax. So basically, if you have prior education in computer science, don't lose courage. Don't think it's been wasted. It's what allows you to use AI more effectively. And remember, AI is just a tool, and you still need to know what you're building. And the next point is that speed enables iteration. This task manager took us a couple minutes to build, but now here's the real advantage. We can actually iterate at the same speed. So if you want to add categories, 2 minutes. If you want to add due dates, it's going to just take 3 minutes. Push notifications, 5 minutes. With traditional development, each one of those features is a multi-hour project. But with Hour, when you can actually try 10 ideas in the time it used to take to implement one. And that's just amazing. Point 3 is that AI multiplies your skills. Here's the thing people get wrong about AI coding tools. They think it's about replacing developers, but it's not. It's about multiplying what you already know. And if you're a beginner, AI helps you learn faster by showing you the proper patterns. If you're an experienced person, AI will help you build fast by handling the repetitive stuff. I didn't stop being a developer when I started using AI. I just became a more efficient developer. Point 4, the future is here. In 2025, this is just how development works. Fighting against AI is like refusing to use Stack Overflow or refusing to use Git. These are tools that make us better at our jobs. Use them. And the real message here is that you don't need a CS degree or a master's degree to build iOS apps anymore. Though understanding the fundamentals definitely helps, what you basically need is a clear idea of what you want to build, the ability to describe it clearly, and this is just very important. And you just need an AI tool like Claude Code or Windsurf or ChatGPT or anything else. And last but not least, you need the willingness to learn and iterate. And that's it. That's a new recipe for iOS development. Okay, I promised you my 3 game-changing prompts. These techniques are the ones that I use every single day that transform AI from useful to incredible. Ready? Here we go. Prompt 1. Always be platform specific. Don't say add a button, instead say add a SwiftUI button. Use SF symbols for the icon following iOS 17 human interface guidelines with proper minimum tap target size. See the difference? The more specific you are about iOS and SwiftUI or Apple's conventions, the better code you get. The AI knows every iOS API, every SwiftUI modifier, every Apple guideline, but you just have to trigger that knowledge with specific language. Prompt 2. Best practices trigger. End every prompt with following iOS best practices. This is like a magic phrase. It tells the AI, don't just make it work, make it right. For example, add data persistence following iOS best practices. The AI will then use proper patterns such as user defaults for simple data, core data for complex data, proper error handling, and secure storage when needed. I've tested this extensively. This phrase improves code quality by around 40%. Prompt 3. Use contextual iteration instead of starting over. When something's almost right, but it's not just perfect, don't give up and start fresh. Say modify the previous task view model to also track task priority. Cascade or Claude Code on all the AI agents remember context. It'll update your existing code instead of rewriting everything. This saves massive amounts of time and keeps your code base consistent. And the bonus tip, if the AI generates something you don't understand, you can ask it to explain. Say, explain why you used @state object instead of @state. It'll teach you. The AI is also a tutor for you. These 3 techniques, platform specificity, best practices trigger, and contextual iteration, have saved me hundreds of hours. Alright, here's what happens next. I have 2 challenges for you. The first challenge and your first mission this week is to build the same app using any AI that you'd like in Claude Code, in Windsurf, ChatGPT, Codex, whatever. And use the same prompts that I used, or feel free to kind of improvise as well. Then time yourself, seeing how long does it take you to make the same app. This is the way you will actually learn. That's why I'm asking you to do that. And then once you're finished, send me the finished screenshot of your app on Twitter or Instagram below. And the other challenge I have for you is to make the app yours. How does it work? Try changing the colors, changing the style, and adding some categories, some due dates, and try to make it your task manager. This is how you learn, by building real things and iterating on them. And in the comments, let me know what you would like me to build next for you. I'm basically literally making my tutorials based on people's requests. And if you like a weather app, a social media clone, games, fitness trackers, whatever, drop a comment below and let me know what you would like me to build. Another thing I wanted to tell you is that I genuinely believe that we are at an inflection point in software development. AI tools are giving everybody the ability to build any apps they like, not someday, right now. You don't need years of school. You don't need to memorize syntax. You just need curiosity and the willingness to build. I'm building these videos because I want to help you get there faster. Subscribe if you want to learn more and if you want to see more tutorials like this. And I will be making real apps, practical techniques, no gatekeeping. And finally, I spent years learning to code the traditional way. It was worth it, trust me. I understand what I'm building. But if you can compress hours of work into minutes, why wouldn't you do that? That's not cheating, that's just evolution. You're watching this right now, which means you're already ahead of most people. You're learning about AI tools while others are still debating whether to use them. I'm Amir, I build iOS apps fast, and after today, so can you. Now go build something amazing. I'll see you soon. By the way, all the prompts are in the description. Also, if you got stuck anywhere, drop a comment with your question and I'll help you debug. That's what the community is for. And seriously, build something this week, even if it's small, even if it's weird, just go and build.